Hello, hello, welcome to video number 14 in our Conquest of C.o.Eo playthrough as an alchemist with the beast Tamer origin on a random impossible map. We are continuing our search for, well, we found him and we are slowly progressing our objectives. Right. Okay, so we find a worker over here and we are going to put him to work. A bit of a bad spot. Windhome, the dwarven city of Windhome is ancient and formidable, built to form stone tiers of hundreds of battlements, towers, steps, stairways and bridges. Thanks to its solid construction, it has never fallen. The city's houses often have 5 floors that can all be accessed by several levels and footbridges. It is a true marvel of dwarven masonry. We must visit. What is this? Level 15, and we get assault or serrated blades or parry stance. We will take the parry stance, and over here we will take intimidating attack. Ellen's Curse and Inferno. Level up. We want melee damage and we want extra damage against fantastic units, and we are going to end the turn. pick our next research. Oh, insight converts mana into research. I see. Huh. A summoning room. Missile damage reduction, and we are continuing this way. There it is. The sound of heavy wings above your troops alarms you. Expecting to see a wyvern or a griffin, you scan the sky and spot a large demonic creature with leathery wings. Despite its large frame, the creature is quite fast and soon vanishes behind a dark spire in the distance. How curious. Alright, let's take care of this quest. The Books of Lore. Your company makes its way through the bustling streets of the Highmark's capital, marveling at the rich selection of wares offered by what must be hundreds of little stalls that line the streets to the Academy gate. Browse the books on offer in the shops. Strolling past vellum makers and bookbinders, your way leads past a bookseller's stand. There are all kinds of works on sale, maps, mundane stories, magical theorems, such a wealth of knowledge in such a small space. But as you gaze on the titles, you find something worth your attention. You are disturbed by a commotion at the Academy gate itself. What is it? As you make your way towards the gate, you spot a group of elves being accosted by the city watch and an angry man in scribe's robes. Weapons have been drawn and the situation is about to come to boil. Help the elves. Rushing towards the elves, you see more guards approaching from the gate. Before you, the elven leader pulls a glowing purple crystal from her satchel. What do you plan to do with that? The brightly clad elf looks up and notices you. She hesitates for a second, glances over her shoulder at the guards and winks at you, stepping into a shimmering portal that opens up before her. Her people quickly follow her through, and within moments the portal is closed again. Intriguing. Dumbfounded, the surprised guards stare at the empty space where the elves just moments ago stood. Then their captain shouts a few orders and the watch begins to cordon off the street, pushing back the people waiting to get to the gate. Try to get to the academy. Finally reaching the academy gate, guards almost immediately block your passage. The gate and the academy are closed to outsiders, by order of His Magnificence Magistrate Reinhard of the Royal Academy. Why? One squints suspiciously at your entourage. Several magical tomes of great value have been stolen from the Academy's vaults. The gate will remain closed to visitors. No one gets in without a pass. He steps back and shrugs off any further questions. We will have to find one then. Let's go visit the students' haunt. Near one of the inns bordering the sprawling tracts of the Royal Academy's grounds, you find a heavily inebriated man in Academy student robes. He staggers towards you. Spare a coin for an intellectual endeavor? I'm examining spirits if you catch my drift, he says, leaning heavily on you and reeking of cheap wine. I am very fond of practical science. Here, have some coin. Is that real gold? He takes a hearty bite into the coin and winces in pain. So what now? True patrons, he cries as he tries to embrace your soldiers. Here, take it. I'm sick of those damn books anyway. He pauses, burps loudly, and stumbles forward. Or maybe I'm just sick. With that, he vomits into a small alleyway. A library card. How useful. We go back to the books of lore tomorrow. Alright. Over here we are going to befriend a vulture here. And attack. There we go, level up. We get serrated blades, we get movement speed, and we get tempered fire. Let's take care of the ghostly problems. The stench of decay is strong in the air as you close in on the marching undead. There, you see, undead as far as the eye goes, the tallest of the three strange men says. He shivers visibly. Someone has really got to take them down. We end this now. Right, we take care of that and we get a corrupted glyph. Oh, that's really good. The spelunking band moves in, quickly marking promising spots. One of them comes up to you with a cloth-wrapped bundle and opens it before your eyes. These should show our appreciation, he says. His grin shows a gold tooth. Much obliged. Wow. Alright, over here we get one more speed and +2 damage when retaliating. I don't know where to send these guys now. I guess we have to fly. End the turn. retreat. We have to fight this. If we retreat, the units will die anyway. Alright. We are continuing over here. Leveling up, immunity to fire, health, and one more movement speed. And we are going back to look for more wolves. Alright, this is the unit that applies bleeding to everyone in the party every turn. Alright, so we are going to buff everything. We're going to use every spell we have to help. The Books of Lore, second episode. Hoping to access the library using the Drunken Student's card, you make your way through the vast academy with your troops, all marveling at the old buildings, magnificent arches and colorful glass windows. Created by the combined efforts of dwarves, elves, and humans, the Royal Academy mirrors a time of harmony between races. The road ends at another gateway. Let's approach. There are a number of city watch guards and some apprentice mages turning back those trying to enter the library. A guard steps out from below the marble arch and says, "Stop right there, strangers. I have orders to take you in." I'm sure that's a misunderstanding. "Magistrate Reinhardt wants a word with you," the guard replies, roughly shepherding you all towards a side entry. No need to be uncivil. Shut your trap or I'll make you. Let loose your hands. Let go or lose your hands. We won't be moved. Alright, we won't be moved. We lose a little bit of rep. You dispatch the guards quickly and the survivors take refuge inside the library. I told you you would regret laying your hands on us. A man dressed in expensive robes hurries out of the nearby building, accompanied by a group of what look like warrior mages. At the guards, he barks, "Stop this foolishness at once." To you, he gives a short nod and says, "I can see there was a misunderstanding. Allow me to apologize on behalf of the Royal Academy." Apology accepted. You are? Magistrate Reinhardt, Warden of the Royal Academy, at your service. May we have a word? Reinhardt looks pointedly at the drawn weapons. I assure you, you have nothing to fear from me. All I want is a minute of your time. Motioning for his men to stay back, he adds, "I have a proposal that could be mutually beneficial." I'm listening. I noticed your presence when our valuable tomes were so brazenly stolen. Now, while I'm not much of a believer in fate, I doubt it was an accident that you have returned here now. You see, the thieves of our treasured works are still at large. We may need help finding them. Can the City Watch not help with that? Reinhardt grimaces and says, "One would think, with all the means at our disposal, this would be a trivial task. But the City Watch has no authority beyond Seven Keeps, and the Academy is currently occupied keeping the Council from tearing at each other's throats. With the King's sake, we dare not antagonize the nobles by sending search parties out into their fiefdoms." So, he sighs, I need a few able people with their wits about them to find the thieves and bring the books back without creating a diplomatic crisis. In return, I am authorized to offer you free access to our library's treasures. How about a little advance? The man gives a courteous laugh. Surely you understand this is not a negotiation. So what's the offer then? Reinhard nods and moves on. We have managed to scry the thieves' portal's exit point. You best start there with your hunt. For that, I can offer you free access to the works present in our library to study at will. Or perhaps you want a more practical reward. An item maybe, or some rare ingredients. The books must be quite valuable to you. Folding his hands into his robe sleeves, he nods. They are. But more importantly, this is a matter of principle. We cannot have just any scoundrel steal our books. The library must be protected at all costs. But I'm sure you will find the reward worth your while. I'll leave word that you shall be allowed to visit my offices if you return with the books. When, not if. All right. That has raised our reputation a little bit. And here, on the other hand, we are not going to buy anything because next turn we are continuing our buff rampage onto that unit that is going to fight the demon. Level up. And sure, you go do that stuff. The Alchemist's nephew. You enter a little unassuming shop and find yourself amid a treasure trove of alchemical components, herbs, potions, and small trinkets. You are greeted by an elderly dwarf in bright red garments and a receding hairline. Greetings, customer. Perusing or buying today? What a nice little store. Are you the owner? Indeed, Tarv Galgant, my pleasure. But I am not taking on commissions anymore, I'm afraid. You see, my eyes aren't what they used to be, and mixing ingredients is a fickle craft. Wouldn't want to blow up the shop, eh? How would that look for my successor? Bright young lad, my nephew, and deft with his hands. He'll continue my craft, if he ever returns, that is. That last sentence spoken more to himself. Returns? What has he done? Where has he gone? Tarv scratches his head. Well, I sent him out to the mountains to fetch some more ingredients, but he has yet to return. I hope the boy is safe. He can be a bit of a dreamer at times. Would you send him home if you find him? I will make sure to make the trip worth your while. And where would we find him? First you have to enter my cave. You can't miss it. It's in the mountains around Seven Keeps. Follow the lights. You can trust them to a point. If you follow them too far, there's no telling what might happen. No. Find the overgrown walls. There's a way through there. If he followed my instructions, that's where you will find my nephew. I need more details than that. And I need to get back to my work, he shouts. There's a potion about to overheat. Come back with him and we can talk more. He shuffles towards a room in the back of his shop. You hear a marvelous example of dwarven cursing as acrid smoke starts pouring from the room. Well, that was not very helpful. Oh, it's in there. Alright. Let's go get the book thieves first. Or not. We are closer to the alchemist's nephew anyway. Alright. Exploring the Chaos Shrine you find plus 10 armor piercing and the unit always deals minimum damage. Level up. Gain 25% more white resistance. And continue. Chest of Sahrul's secrets leveled up. So it's now level 4. All skills cost no focus and grants mind burst and mind control. Alright. All skills cost no focus is very good, obviously. We want to cast Flight. Or... oh, we don't have wind walking. Okay, so flight it is. Right, move the tower. And you wait there. End the turn. You better not fight us and waste all the buffs. We will retreat. %, research from all fire flow investment. Alright, so no, we're not doing this. I've figured out. We are going straight into buffing our friend over there. Where is it? Where is it? There. So you get a buff. You get a buff. You will get a buff. And you wait a turn. Wait a turn or not? I'm not sure. No, I don't think we do. I don't think we wait. The demon's abode seems to claw at the sky itself, with long sharp spires of obsidian, veins of a crimson run through the dark walls, pulsating with an ominous rhythm as if alive. The air around the spire feels unnaturally dense, and the surrounding countryside looks like it had every ounce of power and life drained from it. This feels uncomfortable. The flapping of heavy wings draws your eyes upwards, and you watch as a giant pale-skinned demon descends from the sky. If it isn't the mage I've heard so much about. You can feel the demon's mocking voice in your belly. Come, let me have a look at you. Who are you? I am Mrask-Dur, the new lord over this part of Fiara. My minions have told me of your rise in power, and they were right. You do hold potential, but you are not yet worthy of my time. The large demon folds his arms in front of his chest. Do come back once you have evolved a little. I might have an offer you would be a fool to refuse. Enough of this. Attack. Let's begin the battle. He should be alone with 200 and something health, right? We should be able to absolutely demolish him. We resist the bleeding, and one thing we can do to begin the fight is use battle cry. And we're going to try to use Petrifying Gaze on it. Immune to stun. Alright, so aside from that, we charge in and do our best. Alright, so what type of damage is that? I think it's white, yes. Maybe you should have used this first? You could argue that. Norse Boon. Norse Boon. Everybody gets Norse Boon. You get a shot to the head. Immune to the stagger or whatever it is. And you are going to use spores over here. Berserk Shrooms. End the turn. Big hits. Our bear died, but we can just finish him off. Alright, and that is a victory. Okay, we got a decisive victory instead of a heroic victory. Alright. So, with a final agonized roar, Mrask-Dur collapses, his features frozen in disbelief. You did it. You slew a demon lord. His lifeless form begins to wither before your eyes, and his massive weapon falls from his grip. And we get Demonic Hide. This unit and every ally in its stack gains can traverse any terrain on the strategic map and grants immunity to all status effects. Negative status effects. It makes you lose 1 movement speed though, and grants teleport for 2 focus. Not the best, but okay. I mean, it's done, finally. So, Aetherbane grants Thunderstorm and Banisher. We could give that to someone whose abilities cost no focus, for example. And let's see. Purity Inquisitor. Sounds like it's going to be good against demons. Right, so continuing our adventures. Orgash. The Stoneheaver clan have made this their home. Even though the region nominally belongs to the Westguard, large tents and reed-covered huts surrounded by a sturdy palisade make up most of the settlement. City of the Orcs. Collect. The moment you stepped into this city, which you don't remember seeing on any maps, you could tell it was not like the cities of the Highmark. At first, from the rubble that lies strewn about, you think that it has been destroyed, but you soon realize it is a construction work. There are orcs all about, clearing pathways and marking roads, using the rubble to build houses and what looks like a tavern. You have never heard of orcs laying down roots like this. Perhaps I should take a look around. You find yourself in a quiet corner of the city. Here orcs are working on the outer walls, or wall, as only a section of it has been built over 10 feet. Further along, it looks like the builders are still discussing how best to build a strong foundation. And as you look around, you see a pile of tools and weapons just left on the street. One of the items in the pile stands out to you as more ornate, though no newer than the rest of it. Investigate the possible artifact. With the orcs preoccupied, you quietly tell a member of your company to collect what has caught your eye. As you suspected, you feel a thrum of magic as it is brought closer to you. How anyone let this be thrown casually away is beyond you. Are you a mage then? A rough voice behind you makes you spin around. Two orcs, one man and one woman, have clambered down off the wall and now face you, wearing suspicious expressions. When you signal for the artifact to be laid down, the man waves a hand. Keep it, he says. We have higher priorities now. My thanks. Are you in charge here? I am Torak, and this is Grun. The first orc continues. We are the leaders of the Stoneheaver clan. He looks around the half-built city and then back to you, eyeing up the company at your back just like Grun. This is Orgash, he says. You are welcome here as long as you come in peace. Else we don't want to fight you, but we will. This armed force is meant for different battles. Then why bring it here? Grun asks with venom in her voice. Torak laughs. She is not wrong to ask, he says. The Westguard has looked to push us from our homes for many years. It would not be the first time they have sent some stranger to attempt what they have failed. But, if not that, why are you here? To trade, hire troops, provide help if I can. Grun laughs loudly as she paints paste across another stone, and Torak's expression shows toothy amusement. When he realizes you are being serious, he looks a little crestfallen. I will believe it when I see it, he says. Humans of the Storm clan still run rampant across these lands, claiming we pillage and burn and steal when all we do is protect our home and take back what they stole from us. And now they have allies, this so-called new purity that hunt our shamans too. While they are here, there is little else we can do that we do not already. Then perhaps we can thin their numbers. Torak eyes you suspiciously, smirking again. Looking around at his city, he nods and scratches a cheek. Very well, he nods. You're a mage, you must have a tower. I will send riders to find you when we locate their camps or the resources they have stolen from us. That were meant to help build this city. And in thanks, if you find anything of magical value, you may keep it. We have other priorities right now. We have a deal. All the best with your building. Counter-offensive. It takes some searching before you find Torak this time, and Grun is nowhere to be seen. He is sat on the ground playing with a small orc child. When he sees you, he points out to the child. This is the great mage, Apok. What do we say to them? If the orc child looks at you and thinks hard. If you have come to take our home, you are foolish to think you will succeed. Cute. Torak chuckles, picking the child up to their feet as he stands himself. He sends the child on his way and crosses his arms, speaking to you quietly. My brother's child. He watches Apok waddle away. My brother died while we were prisoners of the Westguard, never knowing his name. But that is not why you are here. Your most recent efforts are most welcome. But there is more to do. Name it. Torak invites you to walk with him, keeping his voice low as you pass by plenty of orcs busy with construction work. Building the city is the most important thing to me, he tells you. But I am no fool. We cannot win this fight against the Westguard if we never strike back at them. And whatever else we may be, orcs are fighters. My people expect it. You aren't ready for that scale of attack. No. Where do I fit into this? The Westguard don't know you are aiding us. If you strike at their camps, in their lands, or the camps belonging to those fanatic maniacs they call allies, they may come after you, but we will have time. Time we need. I know this is a lot to ask, but if you choose to not to, I understand. But it is sorely needed, and if you can help, I may be able to find another one of those artifacts you like to collect in the rubble brought to build the city. Well, the Purity are certainly no friends of mine. Torak's expression remains stony as he nods. I will see what I can find and give it to Grun. She will travel to our village soon to see if she can bring more aid to our cause. When you have done all you are willing or able to, go and see her. This map will give you the location of some troubling camps. I truly wish you well, friend. He says. Alright, so oh, Zacharias' menagerie. Shield of Shields, plus 4 willpower and grants shielded. You get more melee damage and we're going with Word of Silence here, and we are heading there. Alright. This unit we can just cancel. It's in a bad spot, it's surrounded by enemies and there are no harvestables for it. These wolves are going to get 2 more recruits next turn. There is a lot of reading in this game. I think this is going to be the last run that I read everything. I don't know, what do you think? Leave a comment if you think otherwise. I think that makes the games so much longer. Just as I said that, I get another bunch of text. Built by House Storm, the Bastion was supposed to be a symbol of strength. It was once the capital of the Westguard, but after repeated sacking by trolls from Reg and Gore, the rulers of House Storm moved their seat to Stormwatch Fast. It remains an important military stronghold. Offering the most experienced fighters in the Highmark, this training ground is famous for the griffins that may be convinced to join. Never tell them you own them. And units here have Banisher. Alright, surrounded on all sides. The orderly streets of Bastion greet you. As your soldiers rest up, you go from tavern to tavern, then from market square to market square. For all the bounties and all the announcements the Westguard's standing army makes about warrants and problems they need help solving. Finding ways to improve your standing with bastions seems at first impossible. I will try the fort itself then. The gates to the fort are shut when you reach them, and the guards not particularly talkative. After a few minutes, shouts ring out above you, and you hear the sound of marching. From around a corner, an entire company of soldiers marches towards the fort, and the gates begin to open. A man in his late 30s rides alongside the soldiers on horseback, already giving you a small scowl as you look at him. I am Lord Reynald Storm, he tells you as he stops outside the gates, his troops marching straight through. Why are you loitering around outside my home? Lord Commander, how may I serve the Westguard? Ha! Reynald exclaims. A mage who wishes to serve the Westguard. I hope that would shut my dear brother up, but nothing much does anymore. Well, your timing couldn't possibly be worse. We have enemies growing in strength everywhere we look. I am set to leave for Stormwatch Fast within the hour, and I don't have time for discussions. Tell me of these enemies, then. I will see what I can do. Reynald's expression hardens into a curious look. After a moment he says, we have granite dwarfs coming down from the north and claiming our resources, as well as orcs from the misty coast, angry that my brother has started a war with them. There are even talks of trolls disrupting travel. If you really think you can deal with all of them, I'll be truly impressed, mage. We'll see what we can do. So just kill stuff. In plain sight. You have barely made it into Bastion before a troop of Westguard soldiers march up to look to you and demand your attention. Lord Commander Storm wishes to see you. You are told hurriedly. They lead you towards the keep and into a waiting room at the back. You feel like a thief, hidden away from the public eyes. A door hidden in the wall slips open, beckoning you closer. What is the meaning of this? This room is littered with books and papers, beakers and bottles. There is a star map etched into a golden globe that seems to spin on its own accord at the center of the room. And on a board to your right, you see magical formulae that you only recognize from your own master's musings on the Allfire. Someone clears their throat as they close the door behind you. You turn to see Reynald suppressing a bemused smirk, wearing very fashionable but otherwise very similar robes to your own. I'm very surprised. Mages in the Westguard learned to be subtle before my brother left the Purity Take. Mages in the Westguard learned to be subtle even before my brother let Purity take hold here. He tells you with a growing smile. Magic has always been seen as a threat, and let's be honest, in the wrong hands it can be. I'm pretty sure several people have translated or written the lore in this game because some of it reads very badly and some of it reads very, very nicely. Am I to take it yours are the right ones? Reynald becomes tight-lipped and invites you to sit down, sitting on the edge of a desk opposite you so that he can look out of the open window. My brother was once valiant, proud, and strong, but his frustration and anger have boiled down to hatred, and the Purity are using that to turn him against the people. What started as a loose alliance has become Purity priests and zealots, making decisions for Rengar. Reynald tells you. You have already proven yourself a friend of the Westguard. I need you to help push them out before it is too late. I am certainly no friend of the Purity, and you are an outside force expected to act independently. Reynald makes that clear. If you were to remove Purity forces from this land, your standing in the Westguard would likely remain unchanged. In fact, there is a chance it might still go up if the right person hears of it. Not so with me. If I act without more support from other Westguard leaders, I will plunge us into a civil war that only hurts the people more than they already are hurting. That is why I ask for your aid. I'm listening. Reynard tells you he wishes to move against Stormwatch fast. Make it clear to the Purity that they do not have the power they think they have. I am urging others to support me in this. But in the meantime, there are Purity figureheads at work in the Westguard that can be removed. They may have information that makes retaking the keep easier when the time comes. If you can acquire anything, I will be most grateful. Gladly. I hate how the Bastion text is written. Alright, let's get those wolves in our team. Where are they? One day? Hold on, I have enough. Oh, I don't have enough mana. Miner. I need 33, I need 5 more. It's funny because next turn I will have to do the opposite thing. No! Alright. Let's hit the turbo on this. And skirt this. And we will go in there next turn. You are going to fight everyone you find in this area. Level up, gain movement speed. Level up, gain missile damage. Auto resolve, we get the Iron Mask. Level up, gain death damage. Level up, gain intimidating attack and plague breath and bodyguards. Move the tower here, land it, and explore the Shaper's secret. The magical thrum of this place has been reverberating through you for hours by the time you reach the ruins. It is as though it sits in the center of a vortex, only noticeable to the magically adept. You might worry about the strength of the power you feel if it weren't for the marvelous stonework. No one but the Shapers has ever been capable of such fashioning. Let's explore, but be careful. The vast chamber buried underground holds a variety of vases and statues, all cut from the same stone, gleaming with magic. A shelf on one wall holds a few rows of books beckoning you to thumb through them, and your troops find tracks of dried mud leading underneath a closed, slender door. They must be fairly new, as some leaves stick to them too. Finally, right across the room from you, you see a large black door with statues on either side of it. Open the black door. Let's follow the tracks. As you reach the slender door behind which the tracks disappear, you hear it. Someone or something is beyond, breathing heavily and growling. You are deciding whether to continue or retreat when it slams open violently. What is that? Monstrous beasts fight their way through the gap into the chamber, screaming and screeching so loudly that you flinch. They carry something with them, or rather seem to be fighting over it as they escape their confines. Brace yourselves. Your soldiers fight with fervor, eventually defeating their opponents. When the fight is settled, you look over the objects the creatures were fighting over when you first encountered them. Glass spheres of different colors lie across the ground. Some are cracked and empty, others hold something at their core. You pick one up and it liquefies in your hands, leaving a scroll behind. These are spells. I must study them. We get an enchantment page. Enchantment? Enchantment. Oh, I know what I want to do with the wolves. I want to raise reputation with the troll city because I want to build the statue. It's super strong. All right. First thing in the morning, you are told a rider is already waiting to see you. It is an orc of the Stoneheaver clan. Torak must have sent him from Orgash. Torak told us you wish to help in our quest to retake our home, he says. We have found camps belonging to the invaders that we alone cannot destroy. If you wish to help, now is the time. Where are these outposts? There, there, and there. Okay. Alright, that rider really traveled far. Throw sand and another level. Toxic. Right, so. Up. Health. And movement speed. Alright. So. Check out the Alchemist's nephew. You stand before a cave, the entrance partly hidden behind large bushes. To one side, someone has erected a wooden sign. It once read, "Crystals and riches inside," but the writing was crossed out and above in bold letters it now reads, "Monsters and death inside." And this is the cave the alchemist sent his nephew to? Enter the cave. You are swallowed up in the dark of the cave quite quickly, but a little deeper inside you see light reflecting off the wall of a bend, bobbing up and down as if something is floating just around the corner. Tarv said to follow the lights. Rounding the corner you find yourselves in a glistening cave. Large stalagmites grow from the ground. Many see-through like crystal, others are overgrown with ivy, moss or mushrooms. Some of the walls overflow with greenery as well. The light is being created by some of the rocks, giving everything a dim and shifting blue sheen. You see the same light emanating down another short tunnel on the other side of the chamber. Did he? I don't remember that. Keep following the light. Your mind fills with ideas of bringing a larger excavation team here, perhaps turning the cave into a mine from which to extract all the valuable resources you can find. Those thoughts are put to rest, though, when you come to a chamber where the rocks and stalagmites glitter and glisten again, but tremendous fire beetles sit on the floor, clicking and clattering in the quiet of the cave. One is staring right at the tunnel entrance you walk from, giving a screech as it sees your troops. Finally, fire beetles, please, more than 5. There we go. Auto-resolve this. That completes the quest of our dwarf hero. The bugs put up a hard fight, but your soldiers sliced their way through them. You must have come in the wrong direction. There is no way Tarv would have sent his nephew into this kind of danger, at least not purposefully. We must be careful. Eventually you happen upon yet another beautiful clay cave of glowing and sparkling rocks. Here you think you hear a faint cry for help coming from below. One of the tunnels leads gently downwards until it comes to a room with a large cage in the middle of it. Inside, a young dwarf with glasses and red clothes is pressed against the bars, reaching for a mechanism on the wall just beyond his touch. "I'd lost hope," he yelps as he sees you, until I heard you coming from upstairs. Quick, press that button." Go in and press the button. As you enter the chamber, there is a faint click as one of your soldiers takes a step. From the tunnel behind the cage, lava begins to roll down onto the floor and towards the cage. In moments, it will flood the room. The dwarf looks at it and screams, "No, no, 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 no! Help me!" he shouts. 5 mana, I can deviate the lava's path. You cast a small cantrip to try to force the lava away from its path, at least to spare the dwarf a gruesome death, even if he must continue to be trapped in the cage. But the magical burst of energy that stretches out from your hand has no effect. What? You expect to hear screams, but not just from the dwarf, but your own people too. But after a second, nothing. After another second, still nothing. Carefully looking around, you see lava everywhere, now flooding out of the cage and back into the chamber. You see smoke rising from it, but there is no heat, no searing pain. Inside the cage, the dwarf looks confused. carefully putting a hand into the sea of lava and waving it around. Huh, he says in surprise. It must be some illusionary magic. What a pointless trap. The mechanism on the wall slips into place very easily and some hidden gears pull the cage back up towards the ceiling. The dwarf cries with relief. Many thanks, Grand Mage. This has been far too much adventure for me. I must return to my uncle post-haste. Don't hesitate to visit us again. Thank you. Maybe tell your uncle to rethink his defenses. You are witness to the tedious process of adding and mixing more powders and liquids extracted from the firebucks for the bomb. Lore measures everything, noting every step down to the positioning of his fingers. Finally, he reaches for a bottle and tries to pour its contents over the bowl, only to find it empty. He scowls at the blue, bulbous gas with great disappointment. What now? It seems I've used up all my black ash. Inconvenient. I needed to finish off the mixture. It's really hard to come by too. Alchemists created by grinding down black wood, or it can be taken off stronger demons. He gives you a sidelong glance. Would you? My patience is thinning. Lore furrows his brow as his face scrunches up. You shouldn't hurry an alchemist. If I add one wrong ingredient, the whole tower could go up in smoke. I'm just being careful. Sorry, I'll find this black ash then. We have plenty. A loud outcry shakes the tower's walls. Lore comes running soon after. I did it! I improved my bomb. I'll need to work on the formula some more, but I am now finally making progress. As quickly as he arrived, he vanishes back into his laboratory, leaving a large ball on your desk, a philosopher's stone. Great, and thank you for this. Lore upgraded his combat abilities? How? Lore's final baby. Huh. I don't know. Level this up. Gain Mountaineer. And oops, no, I wanted to do something else with them. Hold on. I want to break their minds. And give them the stream of riches. To all of them. Since they are going to be fighting a lot, wait, I don't have enough for everyone? Oh. Okay. Level up, gain armor, and befriend that beast over there. And I guess that one over there. So, you stay there, sleep, you join this, and fight. Level up, gain health, and yeah, continue. Alright, continue. And you haven't heard from Lore in some time, as he spends most of his days in precious study, but he comes to find you from his laboratory with a mischievous grin. What is it this time? My last experiment was a huge success, yet I know I can do better. An old friend of mine owns a brewery in the Stone Blades. If you could bring me some forge brew, or maybe craft it yourself, if you are so inclined, that should do the trick. He pats his sooty hands on his belly. That and some lunch? I'm quite famished. If that's all it takes, gladly. Dwarven Forge Brew. We don't have that? Maybe on the previous run? Alright. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please consider leaving a like, a subscribe, or a comment. Maybe you have some ideas regarding whether I should continue reading the text or not, or some ideas on how to improve the content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.